Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we are taking a look at one of the worst new ALOLAN Pokemon, POM form ORICORIO. POM ORICORIO is an electric and flying type Pokemon with the moveset of Air Slash, Aerial Ace, and Hurricane. Unfortunately, with a poor moveset and attack-weighted stats, it is going to need all the help it can get to get wins. So I've paired it up with a Blizzard Politoed Safe Swap and Medicham as the closer. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and see if we are able to get some wins with POM ORICORIO in the Great League. Picking up a terrible lead in the first match, ORICORIO into Wall Rain. I safe switch into Politoed, and the opponent responds with Trevenant. I do survive a Seed Bomb, so I am not willing to shield, but then I am going to be building up to the Blizzard to try and force a shield myself. I'm expecting they will respect the Blizzard, so I do go for the bait, and we grab the shield, and now if they farm down, I should be able to reach it, but my opponent recognizes that, and they throw the Seed Bomb. From here, my plan is to one shield farm down with ORICORIO, because I should be able to leave with a Hurricane. I am going to shield, and if it's a Shadow Ball, I should be able to farm down. It is a Shadow Ball, I am going to go for the farm down, but they actually give up switch, and suddenly, I may have a win con. Now I can put the Medicham on the Wall Rain, and I'm in a significantly better spot. I'm going to let through whatever they decide to throw, just the Icicle Spear, that's totally fine, and they are at the back-to-back. Now I should be able to overfarm by a few counters before I do go for the Psychic to take them out. So I overfarm as much as I dare, and now we're going for the Psychic. This will KO, and since I have some leftover energy, if they bring back in the Trevenant, I should be able to reach an Ice Punch. Back in comes the Trevenant, Medicham on 1 HP, able to reach the Ice Punch, and this will be taking them out, so they grab the final shield. In comes ORICORIO, final Pokemon in the back is Medicham. We are going straight for the Hurricane. Hello Medicham, goodbye Medicham. Farming down the Trevenant, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading ORICORIO into Lickitung. This is not a great lead, but I don't really have a good safe swap versus a Lickitung lead, so honestly, I'm just going to stay in and play it out. We tank a Body Slam, not super well, but we are able to survive it, and we reach the Hurricane. Really hoping they decide to no-shield it. ORICORIO able to land the Hurricane, and that does big damage onto Lickitung. From here, I'm just going to let ORICORIO go down and get ahead on energy with Medicham. Medicham with energy is very deadly, and my opponent brings in their own Medicham despite the fact that I have an energy advantage in the mirror. That tells me they are weak in the back to my Medicham, so I should probably protect it. I am going to commit both shields in this matchup if need be. They go for the Psychic, I match shields, and since I have an energy lead, I am actually going to overfarm slightly to hopefully make them forget how much energy that I have. Going for the Psychic. Psychic actually lands, and from here, they should be pretty close to Ice Punch range. So I am going to commit the shield, and again, I should be able to overfarm past the Ice Punch, and now we're going for the Ice Punch. If they decide to let this through, this will be taking them out. Ice Punch takes them out. Final Pokemon in the back is Surfetched, and this is bad. I farm up to 5, switch and catch onto Politoed, really hoping they go Night Slash, but they go Leaf Blade. That is not good. My only hope is to farm up and hope that they throw, which they do. All they had to do was farm down and win CMP, but they just made a mistake. They got worried about Politoed getting to back-to-back moves, and now I have a chance. Can we reach back-to-back Ice Punches? Going for the first, able to get to the second, and despite a terrible Pokemon to see in the back, Medicham able to clutch it out thanks to the opponent's misplay, and that is a good game. Picking up a rough lead in the next match, ORICORIO into Altaria, so I will safe switch into Politoed. Even in a type-neutral matchup like ORICORIO versus Altaria, ORICORIO just gets absolutely shredded by Dragon Breaths, so I cannot stay in there. I do shield up the Sky Attack, and now I'm going for a very risky bait. Going for the Weather Ball, and we get the shield. This is perfect. I'm going to full send it on the Blizzard, but the opponent makes an incredible catch, catching the Blizzard onto a Registeel, and that has taken a bad situation to a dire one. I'm going to overfarm and go for the Weather Ball. Our switch clocks are misaligned, so I'm going to try and take advantage of that. So I will farm up some energy, and then I'm going to bring back in ORICORIO. The only use I really think I'm going to get out of ORICORIO in this match is as a damage sponge, so I am going to tank the Zap Cannon, farm up since they're probably not going to be able to farm me down, and the threat of a farm down forces them to throw energy. So they're forced to get rid of their energy on the Registeel. I'm going to bring in Medicham, try and farm down, but their clock's up, and they bring in Toxicroak. At this point, I am in a lot of trouble. I'm going straight for the Psychic. I need this to land, but they shield up the Psychic, and I am in a lot of trouble. I'm going to try and call a Mud Bomb when they throw. They have a ton of energy here, so I am going to no shield, try and call it. It's a Sludge Bomb. I'm going to switch into the Politoed, but they have a second move, and I am making all the wrong calls in this match. I'm just going to try and farm up as much energy as possible. If I can get to 100 energy, I am very close to a Blizzard here. So I'm going to go for the Weather Ball and just hope they bring in Altaria, but my opponent is smarter than that. They do not bring in the Altaria, they bring in the Reggie, and I'm forced to go for the Weather Ball to take them out since my clock is not yet up. They come in with Altaria, and now I have to hope that a Weather Ball plus an Ice Punch will KO, but this Altaria is way too healthy. Going for the Ice Punch, but this is only going to do just over half of their remaining HP. They're going to be able to reach a move. Was a tough lead, but my opponent made an incredible catch, and that basically made it unwinnable, so good game. Hopping to the next match, leading ORICORIO into ALOLAN Ninetales. Not a great lead, especially when they have Powder Snow, so I safe switch into Politoed, and we are met with Shadow Mewtwo. Season of Spice in full effect, you absolutely love to see it. Going for the Weather Ball, that does big damage onto Shadow Mewtwo, and Shadow Mewtwo does massive damage itself, so I have to shield everything here. I will overfarm and throw before they reach a second move, so that way, if they want to grab my second shield, they're going to have to commit a shield themselves. It looks like that's what they want to do, but I am perfectly fine with committing both shields, and then I'm going to be able to Mud Shot down and leave with quite a bit of energy for whatever is in the back. They actually bring back in the ALOLAN Ninetales, and here's where this energy lead from farming down is going to be very handy. We're able to land the first Weather Ball, and we're already at Weather Ball number 2 and halfway to Weather Ball number 3. Weather Ball number 2 lands, we're going for Weather Ball number 3, and if they want to keep this energy, they are going to have to commit the shield. Weather Ball actually goes unshielded, it takes them out, and the final Pokemon in the back is Lucario. So my opponent, hats off to them. They are running an incredibly cool team. They commit the shield, they farm down with Lucario. At this point, I'm just going to bring in Medicham to soak the energy. They go for the Shadow Ball right away, and then it is ORICORIO time. Come on, ORICORIO, can you get to a move? ORICORIO able to reach the Aerial Ace. That is going to be taking out the Lucario, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading ORICORIO into Defense Deoxys. This is a fairly neutral lead overall, provided the Deoxys is not running Rock Slide. Farming up, trying to get to the Hurricane, but Defense Deoxys is going to outpace. I shield in case they have Rock Slide, they do not, and now I overfarm slightly, and I'm going for the Hurricane. Really hoping that they decide to no shield. Can it land? It does! Taking out the Defense Deoxys, and in comes Registeel. I'm going to save ORICORIO for later, and save switch into Politoed. But as soon as I did, I realized, oh yeah, Zap Cannon, this is no longer nearly as good of a matchup as it once was. I am going to let this go, saving the shield for Medicham, but Zap Cannon does a ton of damage onto Politoed. I will be able to reach one last Weather Ball, but then they are going to be able to farm me down. I'm still switch locked in, they are not, so I'm going to wait my switch clock fully and then bring in Medicham. In comes Medicham, and the final Pokemon is revealed as Shadow Swampert. I'm going to go for the Ice Punch and basically just hope that they think it's a pup and call it. Going for the Ice Punch. They actually no-shield it, and suddenly I have a win con. I bring in ORICORIO, we get some air slash damage, they're forced to throw energy, and now I should be able to counter down with Medicham. I am going to let this move through. They shouldn't be able to reach 2. I should be able to farm down, and now we can just counter down Registeel, and my opponent is going to lose with 2 shields. That was basically my only win con, was throwing an Ice Punch immediately, and basically just hoping that they would call it, which they did. We're able to farm down, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading ORICORIO into Galarian Stunfisk. Absolutely terrible lead. Gonna save switch into Politoed, and we are met with Trevenant. This is exactly why we have Blizzard. We tank this Seed Bomb, no problem. I'm gonna build up to the Blizzard, and I'm going to bait. I really have to hope that they decide to A, shield, and B, try and farm down. They do. Now I'm racing to the Blizzard, but we lose CMP. You know what? I want that second shield as well. So I'm going to commit the shield, and we are full sending it on the Blizzard. This is a very obvious Blizzard. I am expecting them to shield, but they let it through, and we are able to win Switch. Let's go. That it puts us in a really good position, but not for much longer, as in comes Azumarill to farm down. And this team honestly has no answer to Azumarill. You might think Oricorio, being an electric flying type, it has to have some electric move, right? Nope. We tank an Ice Beam to the face, and things are not going well for Oricorio. They bring in Stunfisk, trying to bank a Hurricane and swap, but they're able to reach a Rock Slide, just not able to bank a Hurricane, and I'm forced to burn a shield. In comes Medicham. Medicham, unfortunately, will have to throw some energy because they are going to be able to reach 2 Earthquakes unless I decide to throw a move. I tanked the first Earthquake. I'm going to farm up as much as I dare, and now we're going for the Ice Punch. This does not KO, but it will allow me to counter down without them reaching an Earthquake. And now I basically just need them to shield the Psychic and hope that Hurricane will KO. Going for the Psychic. They call it. And at this point, this game is over as they do have a shield remaining. And while I have 1 move banked, I do not have 2. I'm going for the Hurricane on the off chance they decide for some reason to not shield it. But of course they do. They bubble down, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Oricorio into Venusaur. Oricorio finally wins a lead. Venusaur actually staying in and going straight for a Frenzy Plant. This is resisted, so I am going to let this through. Frenzy Plant still does 2/3 of my health when resisted. Come on, Oricorio. They save switch into Galarian Stunfisk, and I'm going to bring in Medicham. At this point, I'm very confident that this is the Venusaur double tank team with Bastiodon in the back. So my plan is to shield the first Earthquake, tank the second, and fully farm down with Medicham. That way I leave with 100 energy, and if they bring back in the Venusaur, I'm going to be able to force a lot of shields or take them out. I am fully expecting them to bring back in the Venusaur, and when they do, I'm going straight for the Psychic. I go for the Psychic. In hindsight, I should have just Ice Punched here. Ice Punch probably would have been enough. Go for the Ice Punch, and they make a very nice catch onto Bastiodon. However, my Medicham still has quite a lot of health, and Bastiodon is very bad at farming it down. So I bank an Ice Punch for later, and now in comes Politoed. We tank this Stone Edge no problem, and Politoed just significantly outpaces Bastiodon. So I am going to be going for the Weather Ball. This does not KO, but it will get the Bastiodon quite low, and the opponent does use their final shield. I'm going to farm up with the Politoed, going for yet another Weather Ball. This will not KO, but maybe I will be able to farm down. It's going to be very close. Going for the farm down. Opponent is able to snipe with Venusaur, and that is not great. Back in comes Oricorio, and I'm going to commit to the farm down. My goal is now to KO a Bastiodon with Oricorio. Come on, Oricorio. Able to farm down. Back in comes Bastiodon. Moment of truth. Can we KO Bastiodon with an Oricorio? Yes, we can. And that is a good game. Hopping to the final match, leading Oricorio into Shadow Victory Bell, the dream lead. And even better, they are staying in, which means they must be very weak in the back to flying. If they're that weak in the back to flying, I'm going to try and grab a shield. Going for the Aerial Ace, able to grab a shield, and the opponent save switches into Galarian Stunfisk. I have a great response in Medicham, and now that I have shield advantage, this is even better, because I can very comfortably shield one, tank one, and then, I believe in this one, instead of farming down, I decided to throw an Ice Punch. Main reason being this way I don't farm over 100 energy, so I decided to play it out a little bit differently. I will shield up the Earthquake here, and then we're in a pretty good spot to farm down. They actually bait me with a Rock Slide, and that allows them to reach a second Rock Slide. That is unfortunate because now I leave with a lot less health than I was hoping. Now Vic can probably take me out. I try and snipe with the Oricorio. They live in Air Slash. Victory Bell able to switch out on 1 HP. Bastiodon farms down the Oricorio. And now it's all up to Politoed. Thankfully, we saw this last game. Politoed has a great matchup versus Bastiodon. Farming up a bunch of energy. And we're going to spam out these Weather Balls. Going for the first. Able to grab the shield. I'm just going to keep farming up. And we are already almost at 2 more. Going for Weather Ball number 2. That gets them below half health. Weather Ball number 3 is not going to KO, but it should get them deep into the red health. And now they try and snipe with the Vic. They get taken out with a Mud Shot. Bastiodon farms down, but we have a move loaded on Medicham. Here I should have gone for the Psychic, does more damage. We're able to counter down anyway, and that is a good game. And now some final thoughts on Oricorio. It's bad. I don't know what more else to tell you. It is not currently a good Pokemon. 0 coverage moves, not particularly quick to get to charge moves either, and not a lot of bulk. This is safely a Pokemon that you can avoid building for the time being. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.